Show Steelworks, my blacksmithing page. I think that's where I'm going live. We've had a bit of tragedy in the family. Uh, Yesterday, thankfully, no one was injured, and at the end of the day, it's just a vehicle gone. But wife's car burned down here in the driveway. Granted, you know, it could be a whole lot worse. Nobody was hurt. None of our animals were hurt. Yeah, as scary as it was, and as really bad as it could have been, it it really wasn't nearly what it could have been. Had the wind been blowing towards the house, I mean, we could have lost our house. Thankfully, we didn't. The fire was contained fairly rapidly. A big shout out to our local volunteer force, fire department. They were on hand and they got the situation under control quite rapidly. What sucks is there were several of my steel orders for customers that were in the car. A couple knives. So, with that being said, and I've got some rework I have to do because of the fire. Uh, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna get some steel gathered up, rounded up for a couple of projects, and we'll go from there. Um, I think I'm gonna do a raffle piece as well. I think that way I can try and recoup some money. So, hey Chippy, how's it? Or I'm not even gonna try and say that name. I'm just gonna call you FN74. Hey man. Man, I'm trying to recoup some losses. We had a bit of a had a really shitty day yesterday here at the house. My wife's car caught on fire in the driveway, so I got to make some money. Hey, Riz. Projects that were in the vehicle, several blades that were for customers that unfortunately didn't make it. It is what it is. I'll remake the blades and everything. That's not a terribly huge deal. sucks, but it is what it is. What really kind of bothers me is, my wife had been driving the vehicle earlier in the day, and I can't help but wonder what would have happened had she been in it. We think it was electrical, but we're not 100%. Cut out or what. It just seems like everybody disappeared all at the same time. If you guys are having problems with the stream, please let me know. guys have questions about what I'm making, feel free to ask. Straighten this back out a little bit. make sure it's cycled out well. I don't want too much tension in that blade when I go to quench it. If I do have too much tension or too much stress in that steel, it'll snap. Starting to step down on this piece now because that piece is going to become what's called a blacksmith's knife or a basting knife. It will be available for sale when it's finished. It's not going to be real expensive because there's not going to be a wooden handle or anything like that. It's just a simple piece of steel that moves around to create its own handle. It has blades sticking off the end of it. Pretty simple stuff. But they look nice and they're a good talking point. They're a good showpiece for friends. Knife is going to a Marine. On that blade, I'm going to do an edge quench. So I've got to set up for that. I have to change my oil around. I've already got the taper started on this blacksmith's knife. So again, the process of drawing it out.
finish is going to be fairly simple. The knife I'm working on for this marine, I'm probably going to bring up to a satin finish and then acid edge, so the differential heat treatment shows. I think that's going to be the best course of action. I think it's going to look really nice. And that's if the moon line will even show. Does not like to move under the hammer, and every time I hit it, it feels like it's hitting back with 10 tons of force. It is a strong, hard steel. I'm going to let this other knife soak for a good long while. I don't want to overheat it, but I also don't want it to be underheated. Off again. Make sure there's no impurities left on the steel. As much as possible. I don't want anything that could impact in a negative fashion heat treat left on there. Starting to cramp out on me. I think I'm going to call it on this one. After I do this quench, I think I'm going to call it for a day. It's been a weird weekend, and I think finishing this up will give me a little bit of time to reflect, relax. So I got my oil set up over here. See this differential treatment. Best to just keep that tip and edge in the water, or in the oil rather, as much as possible, only letting that be what gets cooled off by the oil itself. See where that hardness line is going to be. Now let that kind of bleed into it itself a little bit. Continue working that down slowly. And like I said, if done right, what that'll do is that'll allow that to have a really nice, clean Hamon line, which will look pleasing to the eye. Now I need to let it back temper itself. If done right, should be a really nice looking blade with a pretty cool looking differential heat treat line. Hopefully you guys are having a better weekend than I am. That's life. I believe that was it's just the way things go sometimes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. To everybody I missed, anybody or any comments I may have missed, I apologize. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to work on for right now. I'm going to go back in the house and I'm going to relax, try and figure out what we got to do next. Until next time, guys, take care of yourselves. Get out to your own shops and make something. If you don't have a shop, find something you can do in your own house that's creative and burn some mental fibers, even if it's just reading a book and picturing everything in your head. Until next time, guys, y'all be safe.